Okay. So basically, just you've been doing a lot of stuff lately. You've been all over the city. I wanted to start talking about that. You did a show with Verizon. Was that part of the tour? Can you tell me a little bit about that?
The Now Playing tour is something that Verizon has been. Yeah. Verizon is just, I've been in tight relationships with them since I won this competition with WGCI, I guess a few months ago. And Verizon has just been interested in me ever since. They have a tour that they're doing throughout the country, and they invite people from each respective city to come up. And every time Verizon comes to Chicago, they've been hitting me up. So that's cool. Shout out to Verizon. Yeah, that's what they want me to do. They want me to shout them out and stuff too. So that's cool.
How was the show?
The show was cool. Like, the show was cool. Like, a few weeks ago, I opened up for Marianne out in the south suburbs, and the other day I performed over here at Summer Jam with WGCI. And that was cool. I got to meet a bunch of Chicago artists. I didn't get to meet Lil Wayne, but it's all good.
So what other shows have you been doing in like the past couple months?
I guess those would be the quote-unquote biggest shows. Is like with WGCI and being on the radio lately. That's cool. Other than that, I've really been doing like a lot of like charity shows. I know I have one coming up this Saturday. I'm hosting with Good Deeds Crew, and all the proceeds is gonna go towards a charity of. We haven't figured out the charity that it's going to yet, but all our proceeds go to something for philanthropy. Like I know last time it was MS. We did one for autism. So we like to make sure a lot of our proceeds go towards something good, because I feel like the best way to express your artistry is to pay it forward and do something for those who can do for themselves. Yeah, and other than that, I just like throwing my own shows. Up until now, I've been in the White House, and I was like throwing my own open mics, and just really creating the smart mouth culture. Yeah, and that's it.
What do you mean when you say smart mouth culture?
Smart mouth. I created smart mouth years ago, and I never really thought about expanding it. I've always thought about it as like it's almost more of like a lifestyle. It's not even really like a group, Like I never really expressed a lot of people. I never really needed people to be like, oh yeah, I'm part of Smart Mouth, but it feels so good to have people a part of something that you believe in. I've taken a lot of pride in like doing stuff by myself, and even the people I've been hanging out with and building with lately is showing me that it's okay to build with new people and create and get new perspectives that you never would have thought about, and had it been just you. And not only that, but Smart Mouth is getting this reputation of positivity. It's getting a reputation of good vibes. People who are around us or who even affiliated, they feel good things about what it is that we do, and it's natural. Like we're not forcing anything. We're not trying to be cool with people. Like it's just a matter of love and just trying to share success with everybody who's driven about who is as driven as we are. And I think that's why Smart Mouth has such a positive impact on what's happening in the Chicago scene right now, because there's so much more music out here that is embracing I can't even really say negative. It's just the type of mentality that isn't going to help people grow, and I want to be able to create a type of vibe that is going to make you want to do your homework. It's going to make you want to get up and try a little bit harder each day, because it's a big world and there's more to see than just your front yard and backyard, and I want the music that comes from Smart Mouth to inspire you to do better and to do more for yourself and for others.
Where did the name Smart Mouth come from?
Smart Mouth it's empowerment through what you say, and what's said and what's done. It's it's power in knowledge, really, because knowledge isn't knowledge. You can't explain it, right? It's like I can know how to build a car from scratch, but if I can't explain it to you verbally or write it down, then I guess I don't know it as well as I thought I did. You know, it's a matter of everybody in Smart Mouth has their own story, and they have a story that's completely different from the next person's. So we each reach out to someone different, or a certain demographic, or a certain type of person that another one couldn't. You know, we want to show people how relatable they are. Because I grew up thinking that I didn't really have too many people to relate to build with, and so I did it myself. You know. Also, you know, for a while, my main job was fundraising, and that's how I got paid. That's how I paid my bills. So, knowing that I was feeding my family with how I presented myself on a daily basis while fundraising, and while, you know, even fundraising for this music, you know, like a lot of this is politics and handling business. I don't have a manager. I don't have management. I've been doing everything solo dolo. So a lot of what I've been doing has been off the energy that I give to people, you know, and it's just been off what's been said, you know, conversations that we have. And so I'm very conscientious of like the type of communication that I establish with people too. So I guess that's something big that Smart Mouth is big with, is like being able to convey something beautiful.
Can you talk a little bit more about the experience of, you know, doing all the work on your own and then starting to collaborate and getting more comfortable with that?
The experience of, well, doing stuff on my own for years is what got me here. Before I was really in a quote-unquote Chicago scene, like downtown and on the north side, you know, I stayed in the south suburbs. I stayed in the south side and the south suburbs, and then I would sometimes go to like Aurora and Naperville, because I went to school out there for a while. So I was never really around the actual scene where, you know, it pays to be out here, you know. But in that whole span, I was recording. I was making my own music, and I was really just pushing it online. I was just shooting what I could. If I had some videos and stuff, I was paying money for that. But it all came little by little. Like, the first few years of me making music is so, it's almost like I spent years in the backdrop just kind of like figuring out what I wanted to do, figuring out how to make the beats that I wanted to make before I told people I made beats. You know, I dropped a couple of mixtapes before I told people that I'm dropping mixtapes. You know, like I was trying out the waters and figuring out whether or not this is something that I really wanted to do, like for the rest of my life. You know, I went to school for psychology for a while. I did other stuff. You know, I was conflicted, and then when I finally, like, things happened in life where I was like, all right, well, I gotta, like, cause I moved to New York. I moved to New York for a while, and I was pushing my music in New York. And this was like I said, this was with no buzz, with no one really knowing who I was. I was just another guy with a CD in my hand, you know. And I went to freestyle battles, and I went to battle people. I used to get paid for it. I performed at Summer Jam in New York with Hot 97, like, years back, you know. And even then, like, that showed me how quick these things come and go. That's why, like, when people ask me about these WGCI and yeah, how was these shows? And that's cool. You know, because I can't big it up anymore. So now it's like my next move has to be better than that. You know, you got to keep taking these steps higher and higher, or you'll plateau, or you'll go down. You know, so it's only 3 directions, and I want to keep going higher. So every time I set that bar, I was like, damn, now I got to do something doper. You know, but it's invigorating, and I think that's what's been cool. That's what's been positive about what's happening since I've been in the Chicago scene. It's just meeting people. I feel like I'm earning my keep because I've earned it. I spent years performing for free at small shows, filling in other people's shows because someone else couldn't make it, so they just called me because I was a backup, and even throwing my own shows because I was like, I got tired of waiting to get booked, so I started creating shows. I started booking people, you know. So I played both sides of the spectrum. And it's cool. It's cool so far. now it's just a matter of like taking it to the next level with these shows. I don't want to bring on way more people, you know, because I've worked long enough in my craft to know that it's good enough for everybody now. You know, like before it was like I just liked it, or like this person liked it. Now it's like I'm creating something worldly, so I want to share it with the world.
So what do you think the next level looks like?
From where I am now, the next level, I want to tour. You know, I want to like go ahead and just start hitting the country up. That's a big step for me, and I like music festivals. I want to do music festivals. You know, I want to do like the fun stuff that everyone's already going to. You know, because I've noticed that I've been doing a lot of shows that we're trying to chase people to come to, right? Like the shows that people are like, come on, we're not doing anything Thursday. You know, these shows are cool and all. I'm ready to do the shows that people are gonna go to, whether I was there or not. Like they're just like, you know, the Lollapaloozas in the North Coasts and, you know, the Riot Fests. So I haven't found out the connects for that yet. I haven't found them yet, but once I get in there, that'll be a good look. So I can just keep going.
So I think that your music is very unique in how like spiritual and positive it is without, while still being really accessible. How did you develop your voice with that?
Like my actual literal voice, like my rap voice? Like
no, like,
or like just
how you write.
like my stance and what I talk about. So I don't know. I was just somewhere down the line, I just really got to writing about how I felt, and I just got to writing like very case by case. Like there's no 2 days are alike. I think that's what my project 7 Day High was really about too. Like no 2 days are alike. There's 7 tracks, and each track has a different vibe. You know, one song is Imago Dei, which is like the, you know, that's Latin translation for image of God, Imago Dei. And then we have like Sunday Dinner, you know, which is like trap heavy, bass heavy. And then we have like Beautiful, which is a love song, which is like jazzy and smooth. We have like so many different elements, and each one comes from a real place in my heart. You know, it's like I'm not writing anything that I feel people will like. Just like, I'm not just writing it because I feel people will like it. Like, I'm writing it because I like it, and I'm enjoying what I'm performing. I'm enjoying what I'm saying. And in order for me to do that, I have to be as transparent as possible when it comes to my music. When it comes to what I'm talking about, I have to really believe in it, or I'm just gonna be another artist just rapping into the mic. You know, I could, if I wanted to rap something I didn't believe, I could just rap someone else's lyrics, and I could just, you know, rap a Drake song, or rap someone else's beliefs, you know, unless, you know, but I want to create my opinion and my stance, because it's actually kind of invigorating to see how many people like relate to where I'm coming from. So it's like, damn, I didn't know people thought that too, you know, so that's cool.
What is your writing process like?
Well, it's weird because I make beats too, so oftentimes I make the beat first, and then I just kind of feed into the beat. I'll listen to the beat a lot. I like writing specifically to beats. Like sometimes when I'm bored, I find myself writing like bars that could just be applied to any type of beat, or even just a cappella. But initially, I like to really write to that beat. So any sound effect that it's in, if the drums are going a certain pattern, or if they stop at this point at 2 minutes in, and then the hi-hats are just riding, or, you know, whatever is happening in that beat, I want to be able to incorporate it. Whether if I made it or the next person did, I want to make sure that the beat is appreciated as much as my flow. And in order for that to happen, it's like, it's got to be like a dance. It's like a tango. You know, it takes two to do so. So I'm like dancing with the beat to make sure that we both get the proper, you know, recognition.
So do you like write out loud? Like speak out loud while you're writing?
Yeah, like it depends. Especially when I'm like the songs that I sing on. I'm taking a lot of time to put this music together and sing, like really sing. And so I'm humming it. I'm trying to sing in different keys to see which, like if I'm feel more comfortable this way or in a higher it's cool. Like, it's working out because singing is still relatively new to me, and it's a different method of songwriting. I feel like singing can be oftentimes more poetic. I can be a little more aloof with what it is I'm trying to say and just be more poetic, and the meaning be a little bit more left for interpretation. Whereas hip hop can do that, but oftentimes I like for my hip hop to be very direct, very concise, and very potent with everything that I say. I want to make sure that every sentence, you know, stands up. It can stand alone if it wanted to. It's kind of like writing an essay. You know, like there's a difference between an essay and a short story, and like in the ways that you write them. So it's like hip hop is like essays. Like, first off, this is how I feel. Secondly, this is how I feel about this. Third off, this is what I think we should do about it. In conclusion, that's how I feel at the end. And then, like, you know, short stories is once upon a time, you know, and then suddenly, and, you know, little did she know that, you know, and then it's like, do they live happily ever after? Do they not? What happens? You know, it's like, it's left for interpretation. So I like that.
How did you get started writing?
I started writing in 3rd grade. I had a crush on my 3rd grade teacher. For real, she was cute. Miss Keller. Miss Keller. Yep.
Shout out.
Shout out Miss Keller. Marcus Garvey had grade school. 103rd in Morgan. I don't even know if they're still open anymore. So many schools be closed down these days. But she taught us, like I was saying, how to write essays, you know, and what it was to write in order and to like have to piece together ideas and put it on paper to it be illustrated. And I just had a crush on her, so I would just write a lot. And she was like, "Oh, good job." And I was like, "Yeah." So I don't know, and it got to the point that I just started writing just because it was easy. Like, it was easy to me. Like, so I would write book reports, essays. I wrote like a couple of short stories. Then I started writing poetry. Then I started rapping, and I started writing songs. And for maybe a year and a half, the songs that I was writing was just between like me and my friend. I would like call her. I would leave voicemail. Like, she would give me the password to her voicemail, and I would like rap into her voicemail. Like, yeah, Amy's not here right now. You know, leave a message after the tone dial. I would like rhyme the stuff out, and I was doing small stuff like that. Even then, when I first started writing music, I was gonna go to school for psychology. You know, I was gonna do some other stuff with my life, and then I realized that I wasn't really that excited about it. Like, I wasn't. I mean, the school kind of sucked, so it put a bad taste in my mouth. But nothing makes me as happy as music does.
When did you start coming to YCA?
I've been coming to Young Chicago Authors for a little under a year. I'm known around here because I rarely miss Tuesdays. Like,
Yeah.
I don't really miss Tuesdays. If anything, I just recently started because this month has been a hectic month for me. I've been going through things outside of music, so I just been kind of like, man, I need these Tuesday evenings to do something. But like, YCA has become a pivotal part for me. Like, it's to the point where like I don't even think about scheduling anything on Tuesday from 6 to 9. You know, like, I'm already, you know, like, I cancel shows, you know what I'm saying, like that. People don't book me for these days because I'm like, no, I'm doing something on Tuesdays, period, you know. I enjoy it because, you know, it's the youth, you know, like, I'm significantly older than most of the people in here. Like, I'm 26, you know, like a lot of people probably think I'm like 21 or some shit, which is cool, but no, like, I'm like people's big brother, you know, like, that's for a while, because when I first started coming here, I was like, man, everyone there, like, these are teenagers, you know, it's like, these are kids to me, and it's been a while, it took me to be around so many kids for me to realize how much of a kid I wasn't, you know, it's just kind of like, I'm like, okay, like, these are the homies, no, wait, these are the little homies, you know, it's like, I put a little in front of it, like, these are the little homies, like, I can feel the difference, like, energy-wise, and I'm like, okay, cool. And I'm glad that I was able to do that because it really reminded me my significance in the room. Now I'm like, okay, because it's not just a group of people my age that like my music and just listen to it on SoundCloud. Like these guys, one of my first autographs I had was at YCA. Like I signed one of my first autographs by some girl who was just like, yeah, and it was funny because she was with a guy who was like making fun of her for getting an autograph, but then he asked for an autograph. He was like, "Can I get one too?" So I'm like, man, so however way I'm perceived in here, I don't know. People look at me like I'm stuck or whatever. They look at me like, but I don't take that lightly. I look at it as like a small scale to what it's supposed to come. Things to come. It's like, all right, or is it? It's like, how am I going to maneuver in a room with people who watch me? And there have been times I walked out of YCA and people were like, follow behind me. It's like, whoa, man. I want to be able to do more. I don't just want to like wait on the list and rap and then sit down. It's like, I want to, host for a month and just inspire people to do something big too. I want to contribute back because I felt and I feel the significance of what YCA did for me, so I want to do something for YCA.
What was it for you that felt different about YCA than other open mics? Like, why did this space just fit?
The heart.
Yeah.
The heart. There's so many different open mics that people would just. It's just a room full of rappers who are just waiting their turn to rap, and then once they rap, they go home with their squad, and everyone's just kind of sitting there, and it's just a bunch of politics and this and that. And here it's just, I'm watching people recite something for the first time here. I'm watching people be nervous. I'm watching people, I'm watching crowd favorites. People who jump up and everyone gets excited. I'm watching people who have to get reprimanded because they don't understand the concept of a safe space, and it's good to see that too. It's good that people see when someone says the B word, when someone comes out of pocket, okay, this person's getting handled. So they're really about the safe space stuff, and that does push people to want to say, the B word instead of bitch, instead of this or that. Like, it makes people want to be able to try a little harder with what they say because that's important. Words work. So there's a lot of like underlying messages and tones that mean something to me, and that subconsciously means something to everyone that comes here every week. Like, people walk away from here learning stuff. Like, YCA is going to be a piece of everybody's life for the rest of their life. Like Chance the Rapper still talks about you media. You know what I'm saying? Like, people are going to talk about YCA like that, and I'm honored to be a part of it in that sense.
Do you have any advice for aspiring artists?
Yeah, you gotta keep going. It sounds so cliche because it's like, when I first started doing shows out here, they're like, oh yeah, good job, keep it up. That's what keep it up. Those three words, keep it up, keep it up. I'm like, this is stupid. Like, alright, well, keep what up? Like, just, of course I'm gonna keep doing it, but now I really see the significance of being consistent. That's really what they're saying. It's like, be consistent, keep going, keep putting out new stuff, keep going, because that one show you did isn't enough. It's not enough. It's not going to be enough. You know what I'm saying? You've seen people be one-hit wonders. Why? Because they didn't keep it up. They didn't keep pushing the envelope to do more. So I don't want to fade out because I didn't work hard enough. So we gotta work hard. And like, don't be afraid to try new stuff. That's important. But don't be afraid to also stay with one thing. Right? It's like, it's weird. It's like,
so how do you balance the difference between staying consistent and keeping it up and trying new things?
I don't know. For real, it's so weird. It's like, because you want to be a jack of all trades, but a jack of all trades is a master of none. So it's like, what do you really want to do? Do you really just want to be really, 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 really good at this one thing, or do you want to be pretty good at a lot of stuff? You know, bless you. So I'm thinking, like even with me rapping and singing and making beats, like I'll tell people straight up, I can't sing like that, but it makes me happy. And that's me trying something new. You know, and I have a few songs where I'm like exclusively singing, and then rapping I could do that in my sleep, and making beats I'm pretty good at. So these are three different things that have three different levels of coolness, and it's like I'm always going to rap, and I'm probably always going to do the rest of these things, so I'm only going to get better. But I guess it's like, if I have to choose one, it's always going to be hip-hop, it's always going to be me rapping. And it's like, that's where that balance comes in, where it's like, if you have to choose, or if it came down to that point where it's like, going back to your roots and your foundation, figure out what your foundation is. So it's like, if you like to do art and dance, and you're an activist, it's like, so which one is the most important to you? Is it, you're like, you painting, you dancing, or you being an activist, like you protesting? Figure out what drives you the most, let that be like your core, and then just keep trying out the other stuff and doing it a lot. Like, all of this, like what's happening with me is years in the making. It's not just I wrote a song and next thing you know, all these good things that happen. I have to keep rapping that song. Like, God bless. I rap so, oh my God. And it's to the point where, I'm sure Jay-Z still raps Big Pimpin'. He raps Give It To Me. I'm sure Beyonce still sings Dangerously in Love. That's like her first single, Lupe Fiasco still sings Kick Push, and that's like way back. So I understand there are certain songs that it's going to carry. It's always going to be like, you're that guy who sang, and at the same, so I know I'm always going to do that, but I'm also going to turn around and I'm going to sing that new song that I just wrote yesterday, and hopefully those people who like God Bless like that too. But if not, that's not going to stop me from doing what I want to do. So I think that's where that thin line comes in for anybody. It's like keep doing what you love. If someone tells you to stop doing it, don't listen, because you'll never forgive yourself if you stop because someone told you to stop. Like, there's so much life to live.